welcome to the first 2022 podcast of Tech Storytelling. And this Tech Storytelling is for the business leaders and by the business leaders. And today I have an amazing guest, Mr. Vartul Mittal. So Vartul, namaste and welcome to this Tech Storytelling.
Thank you, Madan. And I am honored to be a part of your series and being the first speaker for this calendar year. And it is glad to meet you. And I'm hoping that everybody is staying safe in your family and you are keeping healthy and safe. And I wish the same for everyone who are watching this series.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot has been talked about and written about the top reasons for digital transformation failures. But I'm glad to and fortunate to have the Vartul Mittal, the live avatars, who is going to share with us his experience and the top reasons why the digital transformation fails into any organization. So, Vartul, are you ready to get started?
Yes, Madan, I'm very excited, very glad. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. So before that, congratulations and wish you all the best for grabbing the most prominent award into the industry, 40 under 40, the most prominent, the leader into digital transformation space.
Thank you, Madan. Thank you for your wishes.
So my first question to you, what is the secret sauce of 40 under 40, the digital transformation most prominent leader into this space? If you let us know, our viewer, that will help everybody to be aligned, and be into this space.
Definitely, Madan, I would like to certainly share how it happened and what's the background behind it. So, see, Analytics India magazine, which is now one of the very prominent, I'll say, media magazine into analytics currently from India. So they host a very large summit, virtual summit, which is for machine learning developers. And it was held in February last year in 2021. And this was a 3-day action-packed summit with TED Talks, workshops, paper presentations, networking, and awards. And almost 1,000 plus attendees from the data science community has joined this event. And I have I received a request to get nominated for the same 40 under 40 data scientist award. And because I have been into in the area of AI, machine learning, RPA, and this is incomplete without analytics. And so in most of my engagement so far in last 10 plus years, this has been the major focus has been on how we do automation using the right level of analytics and finding data which is hidden, unstructured. So for this award, it has been a series of, I'll say, discussions, panel selection rounds, and I have submitted my one very core hyper intelligent automation use cases, which I have come across, which I have solved in my last 10 years of journey. And basis those use cases, I was interviewed for the way we have solved those business problems, and that is how I was honored and considered for the final list of awardees. And there is nothing, any secret sauce other than this behind this.
Yeah, great. I see actively you are mentoring and coaching the community, but I think what I learned at this moment is anybody and everybody who's there into hyper automation space, I think without analytics, this journey is not complete, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, great. So taking this journey ahead, I mean, a lot of research talk about in $900 billion, the spent was wasted, and I mean almost all the 70-80% of the digital transformation initiative failed. So can you please contextualize based on your experience? Can you please share the top reasons why the digital transformation fails into the organization?
I think it's a very pertinent question, Madan. I like to slightly modify the question. I'll not say that there are three major reasons or top reasons why digital transformation projects fail. in large organizations. Probably I will like to spell five reasons, if you allow me.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
so the first reason which I feel is the advisory phase absence. In most of the digital transformation projects, there is an absence of a robust governance model to drive ownership, accountability, and business and IT departments are not being aligned from a strategic point of view. Plus, the incorrect selection of the candidate processes for automation, alignment with overall strategic and business goals for return on investment. And another point to the first point, first major reason of failure, I like to add misguided expectations from automation initiatives. And that is why they have a short-term view of automation opportunities and truncated pipeline of projects. That is why they don't scale up. That is very, very strong reason why, because of the advisory phase absence, many projects do not scale and they die a life of a minute scale projects. Second reason for failure of most of the large automation projects is the incorrect prioritization of processes. So, like we discussed 2 minutes back, that data is very important. Now, when there is an absence of data about the processes in scope, there is a lack of the method to madness for creating an inventory, identification, selection, prioritization of automation projects. And that is why they don't use the right levers beyond RPA, and which means that there are processes which are non-conducive to automation and they are left behind. So this is the second major reason which I spelled out, the prioritization of processes, which is missing. Third, most of the companies, CDOs, chief digital officers or chief information officers, they treat automation projects as IT projects, which is a very big reason of failure. The digital transformation projects are long-term implementation programs with a heavily involvement of change management and involvement of IT, but not keeping business owners in the loop when taking important decisions about use cases to be automated or in their digital transformation journey is third major reason of failure. Fourth is improper automation or transformation project requirements. There are mismatches between the UAT phase, test phase, development environment, and which cause bots to fail, as there will be a huge component of IT using surface automation. And having this unavailability of test data covering all scenarios when we pick a process leads to a higher percentage of fallouts of bots in a digital transformation project. And fifth point is no planning for scalability, which I covered in part before. So absence of a structured support team catering to the entire company's automation transformation requirements will lead to money wasted on support function, and there is no right analytics or structured reporting practice. So we cannot realize the full potential of the digital transformation project without having a clear picture of areas of improvement to the organization. So I'll just recap it. First is advisory phase absence. Second is prioritization of processes. Third is treating automation projects as IT projects. Fourth is improper automation project requirements. And fifth is no planning for scalability. So these are the top 5 reasons why automation projects fail in any large organization.
Yeah, this is true. This is truly learning. I mean, key learning for me as well, being on this podcast. So aligned with the same learning. I mean, one of the study, the IDC, uh, they've surveyed and they found 70% of the this kind of digital transformation initiatives fail to achieve the business objective, right? So my question to you, I mean, based on your experience, would you like to define, I mean, or help us to understand how to define the business outcome and how to achieve it?
So, okay, I'm referring to the same study of IDC. And I recall that where they have mentioned very categorically that 70% of all digital transformation initiatives do not reach their goals, and uh, they they are derailed midway. Again, I'm going back to the same concept that people do not prioritize the process very well, and before prioritization, the right identification of the processes is not happening. So there is a recently there is a news that Automation Anywhere acquired Fortress IQ, RP company acquiring a process mining company. Similarly, now most of the automation digital projects are having a huge focus towards platforms like Celonis, Fortress IQ, Minute, QPR, which are process mining platforms. And why this is happening, that people have realized all that unless we do the right identification of process, right prioritization of processes, we cannot reach the full potential of automation or transformation within the organization. And that is why I resonate my thought with that IDC's analysis that most of the projects do not define the right business outcome. They do not prepare the right book of use cases for automation or for transformation. And that is why many projects do not reach the final stage and they get derailed in between.
Yeah, this is amazing, Vartul. This is truly, you have a rich experience into this space. So, I mean, again, ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the top reasons why the digital transformation fails, and aligned with the same thing. Uh, and this is kind of discussion happens on LinkedIn or everywhere. Is digital transformation is not about technology, it's all about the talent, right? And one of the reason, I mean, the organization inability to develop the capability and the talent is one of the reasons that most of the digital transformation fails. Based on your experience, your study, what are the top skill set that really meets the demand of the digital transformation that will help, I mean, to achieve the business outcomes or take the journey towards the success? Would you like to share those skill sets on this forum?
Definitely, Madan, see, when we talk about digital transformation is all about talent. The reason is right now it's very hard. It's very hard to supply talent to the clients or to the project teams or to even to in-house teams within the company with the speed that they demand, because skill sets are changing every year. And like we have seen over last 15 years, the shift has been from a developer to a citizen developer. And today, even the operations team are getting hands-on experience on these platforms because they are no-code, low-code platforms. So I fairly believe that the key to survival for talent in this digital transformation era is to continuously behave with agility, to unlearn and learn and relearn new technologies, and be more fast in terms of the speed of learning. There is no other way they can keep themselves much more relevant in the industry. It's not about excellence, it's about being relevant. And if somebody is relevant, they can continue cross skilling themselves on various tools, technologies, and platforms, and they will always stay in demand.
Yeah, yeah, this is great. So, I mean, 2022 will be the year of course, digital transformation and of course, hyper automation. But would you like to recommend or suggest any specific technology that will be really, really demand in 2022 and people can take advantage of those?
So 2022 definitely will see a lot of speedy adoption of digital transformation across enterprises. And in terms of technologies, I would go to the basics. Uh, I would urge everyone to be very to get themselves more strengthened into statistics. That is where the origination of data analytics happens. And then if they know the statistics well, in terms of how they can groom themselves up into any kind of data modeling, whether it is descriptive, predictive, or prescriptive. I think these are the skills which are much more high in demand. Rest all platforms are low code, no code. People can learn themselves very, very fast. But these inherent skills, how they can build data models out of the structure, out of data which is dark or data which is unstructured, is something will keep most of the people relevant in building the right data sets, data models, and also in developing the right insights from the data that they analyze.
This is great. This is great. So taking this journey ahead, Vatul, so my question to you, since we are talking about the top reasons for digital transformation failures, and this is truly storytelling. I mean, your experience where you were engaged and involved into some of the digital transformation journey, and maybe I may be putting you on the spot. Would you like to share, I mean, some of the initiatives where really the initiative failed, and what were your key learnings out of those initiatives?
Madan, I'll share a very easily understandable example, which I have faced in my recent past in last 2 years. Most of the times when we behave like a consultant or a management consultant with a and we try to express that we understand the technology deployment plus platforms and domain far more better than the end user. That is the biggest mistake we do. When we go to the end user, the operations guy on the floor, who would be the recipient of that digital transformation deployment, we should keep the operations people, the floor people, in full confidence, and we should ask them to contribute ideas of transformation. Because when we do the crowdsourcing of ideas from the people on ground, the chances of success in that digital transformation project goes much higher.
All right, great. So we are saying customer first world where we should be having the collaboration and all sort of initiation with the
All
help of
sort
the
of,
customer.
just to further iron it out my answer, I'll say that usually what happens is we make them the recipient of our solution,
Got
and
it.
we take limited information from them, and we want them to completely adhere to what we have recommended. But this is not a very right approach. The people who are on ground, who are running those processes day on day, 24/7, those people will have uh, a cloud of ideas,
Got it.
and those ideas should be captured, should be validated. Their materiality of those ideas should be vetted, and then that should be a part of your digital transformation initiative in terms of how we prioritize the use cases towards automation. And
Got
this is because I have seen that what we try to achieve by not partnering with the process owner or with the operations team folks, that takes much longer to deploy. But
yeah,
if we partner them, the acceptability is much higher, resistance is much lower, and the uh, meatiness of the entire digital transformation program goes much higher.
great. I think I love this answer, and hopefully everybody should be practicing. My last question to you, and this is more about the career trajectory for others. So you rightly said it's very important for us to stay relevant into this market space. Still, I see a lot of project managers, and especially the mid, career. I mean, the people who are into industry 15, 20 years, is struggling to get into the digital transformation space. So I mean, what's your suggestion? What should be the secret sauce for them to kickstart their journey and be part of the digital transformation journey in 2022?
See, there are two, the way I look at it, there are two ways to enter this playground. One way is you develop yourself strong enough in a particular domain. Domain can be any industry, any horizontal. When I say industry, it can be banking, it can be telecom, it can be pharmaceutical or medical devices. When I say horizontal, it can be finance, HRO, IT, procurement, any process, any horizontal. So if somebody has got domain expertise, then they can behave like a domain consultant and add value to a digital transformation engagement. Otherwise, if somebody is very uh, comfortable and eager to develop a hands-on experience on a relevant platform for automation, it can be Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, UiPath, or it can be Celonis, Fortress IQ, or Minute, or it can be any other cloud platform. So if somebody develops their comfort on any of the technology or the platform, the world is waiting for him or her, because there is more demand of people than supply of people.
This is great. This is great. So we are reaching across our time. So Vartul, thank you very much for accepting my invitation and really enriching myself along with the entire audiences. So quick question. I know that you are a coach, you are a mentor, and you are contributing a lot towards the community. If someone wish to approach you, how can they approach you? Of course, one channel is the LinkedIn, but any other channel or any message you want to pass on here?
So, Manan, I'm available on professional networks. People can reach out to me who are into my first or second degree connections. And I think that you have established a very strong platform of this tech journeys. And if somebody feels like reaching out to your contact numbers, and you can even guide them to me. And I think you are building a community which will help many recipients and suppliers of knowledge.
Thank you very much and namaste.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Madan.